Okay, let's think about this for a second. Where does your really important digital stuff actually live? Your photos, your documents.
Mm.
And, if you're leading a business, how are you managing these just massive amounts of information that fuel everything you do day in, day out?
It's a huge question, really fundamental now.
Exactly. And it's driving one of the, well, fastest growing tech sectors right now.
Absolutely.
Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive into this really fascinating world of the global hybrid cloud storage market.
Glad to be digging into this.
Yeah, so our mission today really is to unpack some pretty impressive market forecasts. We
Yeah.
want to understand what this huge expansion actually means for businesses, for tech itself, and honestly, for, how we live our digital lives.
Right. It touches almost everything.
And we're pulling our insights straight from a key industry report. It's the Global Hybrid Cloud Storage Market Forecast 2021-2033.
A really comprehensive look.
What jumps out immediately from this report is, well, this isn't just about finding a place to, dump your files anymore.
No, not at all.
This tech is fast becoming the backbone of how enterprises structure their data.
Yeah.
It's a cornerstone for what's coming next in digital transformation. Okay, let's unpack this a bit.
Right. So fundamentally, what is hybrid cloud storage? Think of it as a smart mix. You're combining the scalability you get from public clouds, think AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, with the security and control of your own private storage.
So keeping some things close, letting other things scale out.
Exactly. It's like having the best of both worlds. You get those vast, flexible, kind of on-demand resources from the public cloud for a lot of your work.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe your super sensitive customer data or critical operational info, that stays secure on premises, maybe in your private cloud, maybe even a traditional data center.
So it's strategic.
Totally. It's all about optimizing, cost, control, performance, tailoring your storage to fit different kinds of data, different jobs it needs to do.
And the market for this kind of smart combination is just, well, exploding.
It really is.
The report tells us back in 2021, the global market was already worth over $25.7 billion.
Okay.
Respectable.
Yeah, not small change.
But here's where it gets really interesting. By 2025, just next year, it's projected to hit over $40 billion.
Wow.
And get this, by 2033, a remarkable $97.5 billion.
Nearly $100 billion.
We're talking about the market almost quadrupling in, 12 years?
Yeah.
Growing at a compound annual growth rate, a CAG of almost 11.75%. That's just a staggering pace.
It absolutely is. And the reasons behind it, they're incredibly clear when you look at the trends.
Like, what's pushing this so hard?
Well, first off, we're just seeing this pervasive increase in cloud adoption generally across all industries. Businesses want more agile, more flexible IT setups.
Less rigid infrastructure.
Exactly. And it's not just about moving data off-site. It's about this rising need for storage solutions that are scalable, yes, but also really secure. Solutions that can adapt quickly as businesses change.
Supporting things like remote work, maybe new digital services.
All of that. Hybrid work models, new customer-facing apps, AI workloads. Businesses need that cloud elasticity, but they also need to keep tight control over their most critical assets. Hybrid lets them do both.
So if you're listening, just take a moment to consider that scale, that near $100 billion figure. It implies something huge about how businesses are changing, doesn't it?
It's not just managing more data, it's managing it strategically, using it globally to, get an edge.
Okay, so beyond those big global numbers, what about the regions? Does the report show different stories playing out, different priorities maybe?
Oh, definitely. The growth isn't uniform everywhere. Let's dive into where it's really taking off.
Where should we start? North America.
Yeah, North America certainly leads in terms of just raw revenue size. Back in 2021, the market there was nearly $10 billion.
Okay.
Projected to hit around $36 billion by 2033. The U.S. is, unsurprisingly, the biggest piece of that pie. It's expected to see its market grow nearly 4 times over that period.
Still dominant.
Yes, but what's really interesting, actually, is Canada. The report shows Canada has even higher momentum in terms of growth rate, a CAGR over 12%.
Faster than the U.S., percentage-wise.
Yeah, slightly outpacing the U.S. in that percentage growth. And Mexico's not far behind either, showing a really strong upward path. It suggests this hybrid approach is becoming pretty standard across the continent.
Okay, so North America's strong, led by the U.S., but with Canada showing real velocity. What about across the Atlantic in Europe?
Europe's also showing really substantial growth. It started at over 5.5 billion back in 2021,
Hmm.
expected to reach almost 20 billion by 2033. So still significant expansion.
Any standouts there?
Germany. Germany really emerges as a clear leader in Europe. It's projected to nearly quadruple its market size by 2033, with a TGR close to 12%. Really impressive.
Wow. Any other major players?
Oh, yeah. We see strong contributions from the UK and France, too, both expected to become multi-billion-dollar markets in their own right. And then you have countries like Italy, Spain, Russia, Sweden, Denmark. They're all showing steady double-digit expansion as
Uh-huh.
well. It indicates a really broad shift towards these hybrid models across the continent. Different countries, different regulations, but the same underlying need.
All right, so strong growth in North America and Europe. But where's the absolute fastest growth happening? The real engine.
Well, what's fascinating here is the Asia-Pacific region. That's the fastest lane globally.
Really?
Yeah, an astounding CGR predicted at over 12.7%. It's projected to expand from about 6.5 billion in 2021 to over 27 billion by 2033.
Huge jump. Who's leading that charge?
China's obviously a major contributor. Its hybrid market is expected to more than quadruple, but the real standout, the one with the highest growth rate globally, is India.
India, higher than China.
In terms of CGR, yes. India's projected CGR is almost 13.8%. That means its market is expected to grow by nearly 5 times over this forecast period, from about $750 million to over $3.5 billion.
Wow, nearly 5 times. That's incredible.
Well,
What do you think is driving that specifically in India? Is it just general tech adoption or something more?
that's a great question. I think in markets like India and perhaps Southeast Asia too, hybrid cloud isn't just about optimizing what they already have. For many businesses, it's foundational.
How so?
Well, many are essentially leapfrogging older, maybe less efficient traditional IT infrastructure. They're adopting hybrid cloud directly.
Skipping a step almost.
Kind of, yeah. It gives them immediate agility, helps them manage the just massive amounts of consumer data coming from booming digital services, think fintech, e-commerce, all that.
Right.
Plus, they need to meet evolving data localization rules. So hybrid gives them that scalability and innovation boost that, frankly, older setups just couldn't provide.
Makes sense. So it's enabling growth, not just managing it. What about other parts of Asia Pacific?
Oh, still very strong. Major economies like Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, they're all growing robustly, above 11% CAGR. Singapore is expected to cross $1 billion by 2033. Okay.
Oh.
And Southeast Asia as a whole subregion also shows really significant momentum, a CGR over 13%. So, yeah, the whole region is just booming.
It really sounds like the momentum is global then. Let's quickly touch on the other regions. South America.
Yep. Similar upward trajectory there. Started at just over 1.6 billion in 2021, projected to hit over 6.3 billion by 2033.
Still strong growth.
Definitely. Brazil leads the pack, set to exceed 2.3 billion itself. And Argentina is also showing particularly strong growth, expected to hit over 1.2 billion. But it's not just them. Colombia, Peru, Chile, all maintaining that double-digit growth.
Okay. Middle East.
Also climbing steadily, from just over 1.1 billion in 21 to projected over 4.5 billion by 2033. Saudi Arabia is leading their forecast to reach over 1.2 billion.
Any others catching the eye?
The UAE shows particularly strong growth. Its market is expected to more than quadruple over the forecast period. Reflects those big digital transformation pushes happening across the Gulf.
Right, those big national initiatives. And finally, Africa. Still sometimes seen as lagging in infrastructure, but
Emerging rapidly in this space too. Starting from about 1 billion in 2021, it's projected to reach nearly 3.9 billion by 2033.
decent growth.
It is. South Africa alone is set to contribute over 1.6 billion of that, and Nigeria is next, expected to cross 600 million. It really points to increasing investment in digital infrastructure across parts of the continent.
So when you tie all these regional pieces together,
Hmm.
what's the bigger picture telling us?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, these diverse regional growth rates, they really highlight how global digital transformation isn't monolithic. It's unfolding with distinct characteristics in different places. It shows how different economies are strategically grabbing onto hybrid cloud to meet their own unique mix of needs, security, scalability, cost savings, regulation.
So different motivations driving the same trend.
Exactly. Like in more mature markets, say North America or Western Europe, it's often about modernizing IT that's already there, optimizing spending, whereas in some emerging economies, like we talked about with India.
Right, the leapfrogging.
Yeah, it's frequently about building new, agile digital foundations almost from scratch, sometimes bypassing legacy systems entirely. It's fundamentally reshaping their IT landscape for the future.
Okay, so let's bring this home. What's the practical takeaway here for, for you listening and for the business world in general?
What does it all mean?
Yeah, it means businesses everywhere are moving pretty darn quickly toward these flexible hybrid ways of managing their most vital asset, their data.
Hmm.
It's central now.
This market isn't just some tech trend report footnote. It feels like a really foundational shift,
Mm.
a cornerstone, like we said, for future digital transformation, for innovation, really across every sector, every part of the world.
Yeah, to sum it up, we're just witnessing this monumental global growth. Hybrid cloud storage is cementing its role, is becoming ubiquitous, essential for any modern enterprise.
Right.
And, this raises an important question, I think.
As this hybrid approach becomes this sort of the digital backbone for so many organizations, maybe consider how this fundamental shift in how we architect data might do more than just optimize what we do
Other
now.
than just efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could it fundamentally redefine business models? Could it change the types of digital services that become possible in the next, say, 10 years? It's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
How might your own industry or areas you follow be reshaped by this foundational change happening underneath?
That's a great thought to end on. Something for everyone to mull over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed without all the info overload. We dig into research, articles, insights, basically pull out those essential nuggets and surprising facts you need. Today, we're diving deep into the hybrid cloud storage market. It's a really vital area in the digital landscape. Honestly, if you're navigating today's business world, you kind of need to understand it. Okay, let's unpack this. We're using a recent research excerpt here, our mission. Cut through the noise, get straight to what really matters.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is just how critical this has become. It's not just that data is growing, though it is massively. It's more about organizations really grappling with these incredibly complex IT needs. We're digital first now, so hybrid cloud storage.
Hmm.
It's often not just an option anymore. For many, it's really becoming the cornerstone of their data strategy.
That makes total sense. I mean, the sheer scale of data we're generating, it just demands new ways of thinking. So what's the first big force pushing companies this way? What are we seeing?
For me, the top driver that really jumps out is this huge demand for storage solutions that are, well, scalable and adaptable. Enterprises need infrastructure that can flex, handle wild swings in data workloads, evolve as business needs change.
Right, things change so fast.
Exactly. And hybrid cloud has this unique position, doesn't it? It lets you keep your super sensitive mission critical data safe on your own premises, while, the less sensitive stuff, the high volume data, can go straight to the cloud. It's that specific blend of security and flexibility that's so attractive.
That mix is key.
But, while everyone talks agility, I wonder, sometimes the surprise is how complex managing that migration actually is, right?
Mhm.
Underestimate that, and costs can balloon. So the real insight isn't just flexibility, it's about smart flexibility, getting that balance right. Absolutely. And building right on that point, another huge catalyst is that data explosion we mentioned, combined with this relentless drive for cost efficiency. Businesses are just churning out vast amounts of data. Structured data, like your databases, customer records,
They need stuff.
and unstructured data, videos, emails, sensor data, you name it. It's piling up daily. Hybrid models offer a really, I think, elegant solution here. They let organizations strategically shift lower priority data or maybe archival data to cheaper cloud environments.
Okay, so offload the cold storage, basically.
Exactly. And that frees up your expensive, high-performance local resources for the data you need now. So you optimize performance overall. It's about getting, substantial savings without really compromising on accessibility or, crucially, compliance.
Compliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that leads perfectly into the third big driver, doesn't it? These
Mhm.
increasingly strict regulatory frameworks and data sovereignty rules. You think about industries like finance or healthcare, government.
Oh, yeah, heavily regulated.
Totally. They operate under incredibly tight rules about where data lives, how it's stored. So hybrid storage kind of becomes their lifeline. It lets them keep that sensitive data locally, right, on-prem, satisfying the regulators, but they can still leverage the cloud's massive scalability for everything else, the non-sensitive workloads. It really feels like the best of both worlds.
You get that regulatory adherence and operational agility.
I'm curious, though, are certain industries finding this trickier than others, or are some adapting surprisingly fast?
Well, you definitely see finance and healthcare facing maybe the steepest climb. They often have complex legacy systems, plus the sheer volume of audits. It's a lot. Highly sensitive personal data, too. But interestingly, we are seeing some surprisingly agile adaptations, especially from tech startups or digital native companies within those regulated spaces. They can architect hybrid solutions from day one with compliance baked in, which is a huge advantage. That's a really key point designing for it upfront. But okay, like any big tech shift, the hybrid model isn't, a magic wand. It has its hurdles. One key restraint that always seems to come up is just the complexity. Managing the data, integrating everything.
It's definitely not trivial.
Right, imagine trying to manage and sync data across totally different systems, on-prem here, cloud over there. You run into compatibility issues, you get these data silos popping up.
Isolated pockets of information.
Exactly, pockets that don't talk to each other. And if you don't have good, seamless integration tools, well, you're looking at inefficient workflows, poor visibility into your own data, and frankly, more operational risk.
And layered on top of that complexity is the ever-present shadow of security and privacy concerns. I mean, yes, we have advanced encryption, strong security protocols these days, absolutely. But the very nature of hybrid architecture, especially when data is moving between networks, between environments, it inherently increases the potential attack surface for cyber threats.
More points of potential failure.
Potentially, yeah. So
Mhm.
industries dealing with really sensitive personal or financial data, they need incredibly rigorous assurance. Robust security frameworks have to be proven before they can fully jump in. It's not just about putting up a firewall anymore. It demands a complete holistic security posture that spans all environments involved.
And then there's the practical barrier, which can be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
High setup and maintenance costs. This can really hit small and medium businesses, the SMEs, quite hard. The initial investment alone, you need the right infrastructure, software licenses, those integration tools you mentioned, and critically, people with the right skills. That can add up
The
fast,
talent piece is huge.
definitely. And then the ongoing maintenance. These are complex systems. They demand advanced technical expertise, often needing like 24/7 operational oversight. That's a heavy lift for many SMEs within their existing budgets and staff. It can feel a bit like, buying a fancy sports car,
Right.
only to realize the special fuel and the dedicated mechanic cost a fortune to keep it running.
Yeah, that sticker shock on the total cost of ownership can be very real.
So, okay, we've covered the big forces driving this shift and some of the speed bumps along the way. But now for the really exciting part, the emerging trends that are actively reshaping this whole landscape. This first one, AI-driven storage management systems.
This is something I find fascinating. When I first read about it, my immediate thought was, how much of the grunt work can this actually take over? Can you shed some light there?
Oh, absolutely. It's a game changer, potentially. These intelligent systems are basically automating key functions that used to soak up so much manual effort. Things like data classification, figuring out what data is important, what's sensitive, what's old. Also, lifecycle management, moving data automatically through different storage tiers as it ages. And even security auditing.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, by using real-time analytics, AI helps organizations constantly optimize their storage environments. It boosts efficiency, it helps cut costs, and it significantly enhances their security posture by spotting anomalies, for instance. Think of it like having a super smart, tireless assistant just managing your entire data estate 24/7. That sounds incredibly powerful. Okay, another fascinating development. The growth of edge-to-cloud storage architectures. This ties into the explosion of IoT devices, right? All those connected sensors, gadgets, smart fridges, factory machines, everything.
Everything's getting connected.
Exactly. So enterprises are increasingly looking at storage models that combine processing right out at the edge, close to the device, with strong cloud integration for the backend. This lets you make faster decisions locally, right where the data is generated, but you still centralize the data storage for like big picture analysis and long-term archiving back in the cloud.
Bringing the compute closer to the data source.
Precisely. And what's compelling is how hybrid cloud storage is evolving specifically to support these edge deployments. It's facilitating that seamless flow of information, from the tiny device all the way back to the main data center or cloud.
And connecting to that idea of flexibility and evolution, there's the final trend we should touch on. The really significant rise in software-defined storage, or SDS. This technology fundamentally changes the storage game. It decouples the storage software, the intelligence, from the underlying hardware.
Okay, what does that actually mean for, say, an IT manager?
Well, what it means for you is much greater flexibility and, frankly, drastically simplified management, because the intelligence isn't tied to a specific box from one vendor. SDS also inherently supports multi-cloud setups really well, making it a perfect fit for these dynamic, complex enterprise IT environments we've been talking about.
So less vendor lock-in.
Much less vendor lock-in. That's a huge benefit. It gives companies unprecedented control. They can mix and match hardware from different suppliers based on cost or performance without being trapped. As businesses push harder for automation and scalability, SDS is rapidly becoming just an integral piece of the modern hybrid cloud ecosystem.
That is a huge shift in control. Okay, so stepping back, looking at the whole picture, the hybrid cloud storage market is clearly in this really dynamic phase. It's driven by this undeniable need for solutions that are flexible, compliant, and cost-efficient when it comes to data. And while those challenges we talked about, security, complexity, cost, caching, they definitely persist.
There are real challenges.
They are. But the innovation we're seeing in AI, in edge computing, and software-defined infrastructure, it's really accelerating adoption globally.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think it's safe to say the future of data storage for most organizations looks decidedly hybrid.
Mm.
It really is about finding that optimal balance point between control, cost, and the agility the business needs.
Mhm.
That sweet spot.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, it means understanding these dynamics isn't just for the IT pros anymore. It's really for anyone navigating our increasingly data-driven world. Which brings me to a final thought, something for you to maybe mull over. Given these accelerating innovations we just discussed, AI management, edge integration, SDS, how might the very concept of data storage transform for you personally, say, in the next 5 years? Will your personal photos and files be managed by an AI? Will your smart home devices be part of your own personal edge cloud setup? Interesting times ahead. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us.